public comment via email?
Yes, we did. I have 3 comments via email.
If you would, please.
This one is quite lengthy. This is from Jamie Medina. The City of Tracy doesn't need policy proposals for equity and justice reform. Doing so would be admitting a city has a problem with racism. We don't. This is appalling. You cannot label our town racist. With systemic racism may be while systemic racism may be prevalent in our other cities, that is not the case in Tracy, California. I am not a racist. My parents are not racist. Grandparents, friends, and neighbors are not racist. So who are you referring to exactly? Are you saying Tracy's police department is racist? Are the schools and administrators racist? Maybe it's the ones who were born and raised here like me. The majority of our city residents are Hispanic. Perhaps you mean they are racist. If those are your thoughts, you may want to keep them to yourself. The City of Tracy has one of the most diverse city councils in the region, yet you have the audacity to say we have a systemic racism problem. How are you sitting in your current position if the system is racist? You govern that very system. Are you racist? Creating bigger government really solves problems. Conducting a study and hiring consultants costs money. Forming task force and commissions cost time and money. Racism is an attitude and mindset. Discrimination is the real threat, the real target. Our city is not broken. Stop trying to fix it. Stop trying to convince us we have a racist problem or, instead of whatever exaggerated weekly crisis, problems, so you can add to your resume. Leave our police officers alone. They do a damn good job and the community trusts them. By defunding, prematurely reforming, and forcing policy upon our officers, you send a clear message you don't trust the Tracy PD. I admire the many individuals who rallied and marched in solidarity against police brutality and protested the murder of George Floyd. I attended one of the marches, pressed by the speakers and organizers calling for change. That took courage and heart to follow through. Those young leaders would make great police officers or soldiers one day. I know, I've been both. In some instances, change is needed throughout our justice system. I just don't see the need in our city. I'd ask you to take a minute and appreciate how lucky we are not to have acts of police brutality and murder. Share that, promote that. I've had it. This is insulting and you should be ashamed of yourselves. The examples you cite as our historic racism about a dirtbag couple who lived on the Delta before 1980 and called themselves neo-Nazis. Really? I'd be embarrassed by using such a desperate example. The other example is George Floyd. Everybody agrees he was horrifically murdered by Minneapolis police officers. What does Tracy PD have to do with it? Nothing. You have poorly misjudged the character of the community you claim to serve. We always back up our own. We always handle our problems. We are not easily manipulated. That is the character of this town. We respect each other, our elders, and we honor our veterans. We pride ourselves on hard work. Citizens of the City of Tracy are carved out of wood. Our origins are farming and family. Our traditions are football and fighting for those who can't fight for themselves. That is the town I came from. Why do you think the City of Tracy is the most Gold Star families per capita? By voting in favor of the Tracy Equity Empowerment Initiative, you're saying we have a problem with racism, which we don't and never have. This is one of the reasons why I am running for council. I feel a duty and obligation to stand guard against those who would exploit our city. If there are people who have experienced racism in Tracy, please tell someone. Report to the Tracy Police Department. Tell friends and neighbors. Give some examples and names. When were any of you a victim of racism? This is a strong community and deep-rooted values of personal responsibility and accountability. It doesn't matter if you've been a resident for 5 generations or 5 minutes, your family. That is why our city is and always will be a great place to live, work, and play. The next one is from Angelo Alejandre. First off, I would like to say that I'm excited and happy that so many community members are getting involved in the local